Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So we got the crypto market cap up here. Market cap is at 257.7 billion. Bitcoin trading at 94.10, down 2.05%. Ethereum at about $200, up about 0.15%. And XRP trading at about 20 cents, down only 0.55%. Guys, when we look at the charts here, we're still trying to maintain this trend. Nothing has really changed much. This is XRP on the daily. We can bring up BTC and we can see that same trend going upward now. It looks like the BTC Bitcoin trend is stronger than XRP, does it not? XRP seems to be wavering a little bit, whereas you see BTC, a strong trend upward. But guys, let's put things into perspective here. Let's go back to XRP, and I'm just going to show you guys why you shouldn't actually compare the charts pound for pound. And it's because of this, guys. Look at this. XRP right now here trading at 20 cents. If we take it from 17 to about 34, which was this all-time high peak roughly around here. This peak here, up here in this level of resistance, that is 100%, okay? Taken from 17 cents down here. 100% in that small move, that would double your money. If you put in $100, you get 2 out of it. If you put in $10,000, you'd get 20,000 out of it. Investing in XRP at 17 cents. Now the move only brings us up to this peak here, guys. When we bring up Bitcoin, let's look at that. And in the XRP chart, I started a little lower here, so let's start it even a little higher than that. So 7,000. And so 100% would actually bring you all the way past this same peak, all the way up to and past this actually, even past that peak, up to 14,000 per BTC, which would bring us somewhere around here. Overshooting the peak, overshooting that high that we saw last year. So that's 100%. If you put in $100, you'd make $200. If you put in $10,000, you'd make $20,000, so on and so forth. So guys, when you're looking at the trends and how they're not looking equal, you got to take these kinds of things into consideration. All things considered, though, XRP is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. Following Bitcoin, we know Bitcoin just had its halving, and it is pumping slowly, but surely we will see an increase in Bitcoin price over the next year and a half. XRP just moving along with the market, so I'm happy with that. Guys, I saw this from XRP researcher at XRP News _ on Twitter, and BitGo now providing custody for India's largest crypto exchange. So this website, I believe, belongs to XRP researcher, if I'm not mistaken. BitGo now providing custody for India's largest crypto exchange. So dominating the crypto news scene in India today was the announcement that cryptocurrency custody BitGo will provide its service to Indian exchange CoinDCX. Offering secure storage and partial issuance for assets traded on the platform, CoinDCX announced today, US-based BitGo, a firm claiming to process over 20% of all Bitcoin transactions, provides an insurance policy covering up to $100 million in value through a syndicate of insurers in the Lloyd's of London and European marketplace. So BitGo began storing cryptocurrencies held by CoinDCX last week with the aim of ensuring the assets are kept safe and secure. The custodial service extends to deposits at the exchange's lending arm, DCX Lend. So this is important, guys, because we know this back from a couple months ago now, February 2020, Ripple says Microsoft, BitGo, and Bitso are powering the XRP ledger. So we know BitGo, actually one of the institutions that is powering an XRP validator. In this article, it was mentioning BitGo as one of the newest enterprises contributing to the network. So that is important to note. Also from this article, he mentions later down here how, and we just mentioned this yesterday, how MoneyGram has teamed up with India's federal bank to move money around. And today we get the news on BitGo providing custody for India's largest crypto exchange. So that's really great news coming out of India. And guys, I showed you the Indian remittance numbers yesterday. Just blows every other country out of the water. So great news for DLT, great news for Ripple and XRP. And as we're seeing this, we're seeing the liquidity index rise. Guys, this tweet here from Martin Volck on Twitter at MartinCPVolck, XRP Liquidity Index closes on recording new all-time highs as Chris Larsen moves 20.6 million XRP. So let's get to the first part. Right now we're seeing the liquidity index bot, and actually I will bring up the actual Twitter for that. And guys, look at that. So this is the Philippines corridor. We saw a bit of a slump in late April and now returning, not seeing all-time highs, but returning to new highs, at least in the Filipino corridor. In the Australian corridor, we are almost reaching those highs. And here for Mexico, we are also almost reaching those highs as well. So liquidity ramping up, more people sourcing XRP for that liquidity. So the numbers went down for a while and now they are back up. Does this mean business as usual around the world? I don't know about that. Economies still are kind of questioning whether we should open up or not. I mean, different countries are kind of on pace for different schedules with regards to their beer flu protocols. And of course, everybody is in a different situation. So there is no sweeping statement from anybody saying, okay, this is the day everybody's going to open and it's business as usual. That's just not how it's going to work. It is interesting to see, though, and I mean, this is a good indicator to see what is happening, at least with ODL being sourced through XRP, and that liquidity is indeed being used to transfer money now. And even when we first were getting into this pandemic, the numbers decreased sharply, came back up, decreased again, and now they're coming back up. But before that, so the pandemic kind of started, let's say mid-March, so in and around here, we were seeing just a slow and steady increase as the days went on. Now we're seeing some waves, interesting to say the least. But what about that Chris Larsen piece? So also here it was mentioning Chris Larsen selling, what was it, 20.6 million XRP worth $4.1 million a couple of hours ago. Lots of transactions sending relatively 42 million XRP between crypto exchanges and unknown wallets were monitored via the XRPL monitor. And so from its Twitter handle, according to the data from BitHomp official website, as shared by the XRPL monitor, 20.6 million XRP of the aforementioned transactions worth $4.1 million at press time was moved by the Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen to Bitstamp. And all this stuff is tracked. We know who the wallets belong to in some cases. So this tweet from Martin Volck, Maximus Prime writes, the first part is good. What do you think about the second part? Martin Volck responds, in my opinion, Chris Larsen is free to do what he wants with his money. It won't affect the end result in the long term. And you got to remember, guys, these guys at Ripple have a lot of XRP, and I'm sure most of them are de-risking their investment because they hold so much. You got to remember, for these people, their net worth is everything that they own cumulatively, and it's always good to have cash on hand. You got to remember, look at where the stock market is right now. Here's the S&P 500. And some people are saying that this is looking like it could go lower. So perhaps de-risking some XRP to put into other investments, that's not unusual for people to do. And again, when you have millions and millions and millions, if not billions of XRP, cash some out now, cash some out later, again, not an unusual strategy. And all these guys are doing it. So thanks so much, Martin Volck here on Twitter, for pointing that out. Guys, I saw this from XRP Crypto Wolf. 71% of central banks and 46 countries are considering creating a CBDC using a constrained form of distributed ledger technology. So this from CoinDesk, it says these guys are leery of blockchain. London-based journal Central Banking, a specialized publication supported, among others, by the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, and the European Central Bank. Christine Lagarde's employer, the ECB, found in its inaugural CBDC survey released last week that 65% of respondents had actively researched digital currencies, but the survey conducted in February found only one central bank would use blockchain as the basis for their CBDCs. Described as a small African central bank, the survey noted that the bank said it would only consider using blockchain if found to be the best available platform. That and the other 45 banks were not identified. Central Banking's survey doesn't delve much further into why central banks don't want to use blockchain. One North African central bank said it had concerns about blockchain security and scalability issues. Whether it was an attitude held by the other survey respondents isn't clear. So, here's the interesting thing. While most central banks dismissed blockchain, 71% of respondents said they would consider building a CBDC on DLT, a broader category of network architectures, blockchain being one of them, if they reached the issuance stage. The survey added the caveat that the majority of central banks researching CBDCs had no plans to actually move forward with issuing one. So these are clearly central banks that may not have already stated that they are using CBDCs. You got to remember how many central banks there are in the world, how many countries there are in the world, first of all. And to think about this, I think a lot of the central banks that have larger economies really do see the benefit in issuing CBDCs, especially now with the shutdown. It's before their eyes at this moment. We have this pandemic. It is really affecting the economy. To issue a CBDC makes sense, especially if they were already in the process of releasing one. But some central banks around the world still are leery about this. Could it have to do with the cost associated with creating a CBDC vis-a-vis their GDP, for example? Maybe it's not worth it for them, especially not now when the economy is basically shut down. It could be something to ruminate for some of these central banks once their GDPs rise in the future once again. Might not be so pressing of an issue, but I wanted to thank XRP Crypto Wolf for posting that. There's also this from the Daily Hodl, guys. Ripple executive exploring e-commerce payments platform powered by XRP. So Ripple's director of product says he's considering launching an XRP-powered e-commerce payments platform. Craig DeWitt, who has previously launched XRP-related projects out of the blue, I love how they state that, out of the blue, says the platform would be easy to integrate on any website looking to accept cryptocurrency. Considering launching a e-commerce payments platform using Payburner, open to the world, the guts of X Songs, which he also created, already does this beautifully. So this is a quote from Craig DeWitt, what I just read there, and this as well. This would make it stupid simple to use, so anyone can accept XRP payments in their personal sites with a simple code snippet. DeWitt rolled out X Songs in December, a new digital marketplace that allows musicians to sell their songs online for XRP. There's no fee to upload or post songs, and musicians receive 100% of the revenue from their sales through peer-to-peer XRP payments. So a great example of micropayments here using XRP. X Songs or Songs also utilizes Payburner, an integrated payment system built on top of the XRP ledger. So interesting news there. Exploring an e-commerce option payments platform powered by XRP. Obviously, Craig DeWitt, one of those intelligent characters in the space developing all kinds of new and innovative products on the XRPL, creating more adoption in the ecosystem. And so I still haven't used Songs yet, X Songs, or however it's pronounced. Don't know if anybody else on here has any experience with that. If you do, mention it in the comments. I'm always curious to hear if some of you guys are utilizing XRP in the ecosystem, making use of the availability. I mean, we are part of the 0.1% of people on planet Earth, or I don't really know what the number is, but a very, very small minority of people on planet Earth who hold XRP right now. But guys, once this gets up and running, more people will be holding cryptocurrencies, especially XRP. And so this is really going to change the way we do everything in the coming years. And the more I think about it, the more I think that this pandemic will really catapult this throughout this coming decade and beyond. Here's another one from XRP Crypto Wolf. The Customer Financial Protection Bureau mentioned Ripple and XRP in their new report. So this from the remittance transfers under the Electronic Fund Transfer Act. Okay, and this report here is, I will link the PDF here for you guys to read. It's 153 pages if you're interested in that. But XRP Crypto Wolf highlights some of the important points here. The Bureau has continued to monitor the remittance transfer market since its publication of the assessment report and observes that most of these developments continue to progress. Examples include, and then they mentioned SWIFT. Number 2 here, the continued growth of fintech through non-bank remittance transfers provided and further expansion into partnerships and other relationships with banks. And number 3 here, the continued growth and expanding partnerships of virtual currency companies such as Ripple, which offer both a payments messaging platform to support cross-border money transfers, as well as a virtual currency, XRP, which can be used to effect settlement of those transfers. So that taken from Ripple's insights down here in the footnote. But guys, this is important because this is a governmental body. This is a federal institution, okay? They got a .gov website. They're talking about Ripple, that fintech company, in their official release. No other specific cryptocurrency related company is mentioned in the report. And just to put things into perspective here, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is a U.S. agency responsible for consumer protection in the financial sector. The FCPB's jurisdiction includes banks, credit unions, security firms, payday lenders, mortgage servicing operators, foreclosure relief services, debt collectors, and other financial companies operating in the United States. So they were founded 8 years ago in 2011, and they are the bureau that oversees that. Also here from their official webpage, we aim to make consumer financial markets work for customers, responsible providers, and the economy as a whole. We protect consumers from unfair, deceptive, or abusive practices and take action against companies that break the law. We arm people with the information, steps, and tools that they need to make smart financial decisions. I wanted to just highlight this point here. We protect customers from unfair, deceptive, or abusive practices. And these guys are mentioning Ripple by name in their report. So you guys arm yourself with this information and take it to all the haters or the non-believers even, and show them here. Look at this. This is from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a federal organization, and they are naming Ripple by name in this report. Clearly, Ripple is not a scam and XRP is not a scam coin. Clearly, it is going to be used, XRP that is, to change the world of finance. And guys, this is just the beginning. Someone also brought this to my attention and I was kind of shocked by it. Was all signs of Ripple and XRP scrubbed from the ISO 20022 wiki page? So guys, this tweet here from XRP Jedi Pup at RealTJM Gold on Twitter Any mention of Ripple has been removed from the ISO 20022 page on Wikipedia. They don't want us peasants getting rich. I love that quote. Here's the before and after photos. So this from Wikipedia, and originally ISO 20022 is widely used in financial services organizations participating in ISO 20022, include Ripple, and then they name a bunch of others. Another mention here of ILP protocols, and this was all in fact deleted. No mention of Ripple here, and no mention of ILP protocols. Now, some people might say that anybody can edit Wikipedia, which is true. And so this thread goes on, guys. I will link the thread in the description. Some people having a bit of a debate over this. Jay here mentions, in addition, Ripple chairman was reported by MSM as a replacement for Swift. Go to Swift wiki page, which I'm sure has more visitors than the ISO 20022 wiki, and guess what you see there? But they don't want you to know of Ripple? Interesting. Guys, I will link all this in the description for you if you want to read further. So there's some talk about the fact that, anybody can, and this is just true, anybody can edit a wiki page. But I guess for me, the question is why? Because this tweet here from Mark XRPLA, EXAREPEE on Twitter, and he says, well, it's still listed on Ripple's webpage here, shaping the future of cross-border payments. Ripple is now part of the ISO 20022 standards body. And we heard that news a few days ago, or rather a couple of weeks ago or a week ago. And so it's happening. We know it's happening. If it was on the wiki site and now it is not, why? I guess the question I'm more interested in is why, not who edited it, is why. And why would they edit it? It doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, anybody can edit a Wikipedia page, but why would anybody edit it? That is what's really more interesting. A couple of theories here. One, it could just be trolls just not wanting you to see anything that has to do with Ripple or XRP anywhere because they maybe want you to believe that Bitcoin is the future for payments, something like that. I don't know. Or B, could it be some higher powers not wanting us, like XRP Jedi Pup says, us peasants, to get rich off XRP adoption? It is quite curious. I don't really have an answer for this. Maybe you guys have some thoughts. If you do, put them in the comments. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.